Okay, great evening. Now, somebody was just asking if this takes place, if the electric would go out. Well, I would say yes. Uh, they're saying you don't go out. Cars may not work. Now, that means you would have no traffic lights, no lights anywhere, no street lights. So I would, prepare for those kind of things. Now, this aside, we know that 9 out of 10, Putin wants to do a cyber war. If he decided to do cyber war, he's going to try to knock out the utilities, etc. So these are things to maybe think about anyway. So I've been thinking about things that would be something to think about having on hand. Okay. One of them is a way of light, whether you're using batteries. Now I have a lot of candles here. So some way to have some sort of light. Canned goods, okay. More than likely the stuff in your refrigerator would be okay if you're not opening and closing it all the time. The stuff in your freezer, you'd be able to use it. Now, I don't know if gas stoves would be working. I don't know. But I got a little extra cooking gas thing, just in case. So another thing to think about is if it goes out, if you have a tent, a little tent, you can put that up in a room because it's easier to heat up in a little tent area than it is a whole room, okay? So make sure you have, if you have heavy duty warm blankets and a really good sleeping bag, etc., really warm clothes, those things you may want to have where you could get to them pretty quickly if you needed them. Another thing I just thought about is, when things come up and running, if the electric and stuff is not up and running right away, you're going to need some cash because, I usually don't carry cash. I do everything by cards, but if things take a while to get up and running, that card will be useless, okay? So pull out, have a little cash on hand just in case. So, those are types of things to think about. Make sure you got enough of your dogs, etc., dog food, etc., with you. And, those are just some things that I've kind of thought about. That's good to have on hand no matter what, in case, there was an outage, like in Texas, there was an outage because of snow and ice for how many days? Okay, so these are things to think about, make sure that you have things on hand to stay warm with, really layer up on your clothing, get yourself, like I said, a really good sleeping bag, a down comforter if you have, whatever you need to bundle up, and And again, if you have a small tent, you can put that up in your house somewhere, and then that is easier to warm up a small space than it is a big space in your house. So those are some things that I'm, looking at putting in place. Now, one thing I do have, I have a lot of canned goods, meats, canned goods, and so I have those in place. So I do have foods and things like that, not a problem. I do have a good sleeping bag out there in the car that's for low temperatures. So, you know, all of these types of things I'm considering, which is good to have on hand, like I said, no matter what. Even if this does not take place, you could be in a position where your electric and things were knocked out for a number of days. And so these are some things that it might be beneficial to have on hand no matter what, in case of emergencies, etc. Now, I know my daughter is going to think I've gone around the bend, but I'm going to send her that video to watch, you know, and she'll think I've totally lost my mind. But I'm going to tell her, just watch it anyway. Humor me, okay? Humor me and just watch it. So I'm going to send that to her this afternoon. And, you know, what people decide to do, they decide to do. Again, this could be a nothing burger, but it's good to know anyway, to have some ideas of what to do just in case you lose your electric. Okay? So on that note, I'll leave that here, but those are just a few things that I've come up with. You know, I'm thinking about this again, not just because of this video, but again, we know that Putin would like to do more than likely cyber warfare, and that's one thing they go. They knock out critical systems, okay? So that's something to, again, be aware of and just not freak out about. I'm not telling people go get freaked out and, oh my God, and run out this minute, you know. I'm not saying that at all. So don't take it that way. Don't go into panic mode. But these are some things that I've sat with and thought about. Let's see, if the power goes out for whatever reason, what are important things to have on hand? What would we need? Okay? And so those are things that I've come up with. Okay? So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.